A man searches the internet until he finally finds a blog or video that will destroy his liberal Aunt Diane in the family chat. A man with a short attention span and poor comprehension skills interprets a speech in a way that reaffirms his hate for the speaker. A man misremembers events to confirm beliefs he has about who he is as a person. These are all forms of confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias. The tendency to interpret new evidence as confirmation of one's beliefs or theories.
On a recent episode of the Tim Dillon podcast, Joe Rogan said this about President Donald Trump.
And financial. Right. The fact that he paid for the entire campaign himself. Right. That's different. Like, it did or funded it or had, figured out how to get money.
Figured out how to get money. This is a great example of a person using selective recall to confirm his beliefs.
The human memory is unreliable.
In total, over the course of 3 campaigns, Donald Trump has received over $1.4 billion in donations from outside spending groups.
Super PACs and 501c3s, also known as dark money organizations, are the most common types of outside money groups.
Outside groups let a small number of very wealthy individuals and corporations sidestep laws limiting the amount that one person or entity can contribute to a candidate. Donations through outside groups should be viewed as investments.
Don't forget inaugurations.
Inaugurations are another way corporations and the mega-rich can invest in a presidency, especially corporations who are limited on how much they can contribute to a campaign because they hold government contracts.
If you want to be awarded a government contract, I suggest you donate to the inauguration.
In 2017, Donald Trump received over $100 million in inauguration donations. His 2025 inauguration will bring in over $200 million, more than any inauguration in history.
What makes Joe Rogan think Donald Trump is self-funded?
During the 2016 campaign cycle, there were several months when Donald Trump was bitching and moaning about being the only self-funded candidate and that PACs were unfair.
This whole super PAC scam is very unfair to a person like me, who has disavowed all PACs and is self-funding.
For several months, Donald Trump repeated and tweeted that he was self-funded.
I don't know. I self-fund. Sorry, I'm self-funding. Seriously, I'd like to give you $10 million. I say, no, I can't do that. I'm not self-funding.
In fact, it was a foundational message early in his campaign.
I know the best people, and I'm totally self-funding my campaign. So I don't have to take donors and special interest people and lobbyists. I don't have to bring them in. I know the absolute best people, and I'm bringing them with me to Washington.
He even went as far as to say that PACs were illegal and that he had disavowed them. Donald hit his self-pitying low in February of 2016 with this tweet.
I don't believe I have been given any credit by the voters for self-funding my campaign, the only one. I will keep doing, but not worth it.
During this short window when Donald Trump was self-funded, he fired multiple shots at his opponents for taking PAC money.
I see Marco Rubio just landed another billionaire to give big money to his super PAC, which are total scams. Marco must address him as Sir.
He tweeted Marco Rubio was going to receive big dollars from Las Vegas casino billionaire Sheldon Adelson because Adelson believes he can mold Rubio into his puppet. But then, in May of 2016, Donald Trump was a lock to win the Republican nomination. Las Vegas billionaire Sheldon Adelson drops his support for Marco Rubio and pledges to donate up to $100 million to the Trump campaign.
Outside money comes in.
Donald tweets the good news. He says it's an honor to have the endorsement of someone he has tremendous respect for.
Who is the puppet now?
Joe selectively forgets that his boy Donnie has been funded by billionaires and large corporations just like all the other candidates before him. He wants to believe that his guy, who he watches the fights with, is some kind of a hero.
Young people.
The rebels are Republicans now. They're like, you want to be a rebel, you want to be punk rock, you want to buck the system, you're a conservative now.
Joe thinks the New York billionaire criminal, who has ripped off hundreds of small business owners, who has built his empire stepping on the necks of the common man, is punk rock.
Billionaires who infiltrate government and transfer money from the poor to the wealthy aren't the rebellion. They're the empire.
Sheldon Adelson donated hundreds of millions of dollars supporting Israel. He was an advocate for recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and he was against the two-state solution. In 2017, Donald Trump recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and moved the U.S. embassy there. In 2018, he withdrew $200 million in aid to Palestinian refugees. Also in 2018, President Donald Trump awarded Miriam Adelson the Medal of Freedom in exchange for this kiss. In the first 2 quarters after Donald Trump lowered the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, Sheldon Adelson saved $1.2 billion in corporate taxes. That's $1.2 billion saved in 6 months. For his lapdog loyalty, the Adelsons donated $500,000 to Trump's legal defense team.
They were protecting their asset.
2020 election cycle, the Adelsons gave $90 million to the Preserve America PAC. A PAC that's primary function was producing nasty commercials like this.
Joe Biden won't stop the violence. He's too weak to lead America. He's the wrong man for these times. Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Even though the 2020 election didn't go the Adelsons' way and the husband, Sheldon, died in 2021, Miriam's support did not waver, donating $100 million in 2024 to the Preserve America PAC for ads like this.
Kamala Harris is weak and dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
A breakdown of Donald Trump's personal campaign contributions.
2016, Donald Trump spent $66 million of his own money, and he received $100 million in Super PAC donations. 2020, he spent $8,000 of his own money. He received nearly $314 million in Super PAC donations. 2024, he spent $0 on his own campaign. He received over $1 billion in Super PAC donations.
Who funds the Republican empire?
WrestleMania superstar Linda McMahon, net worth $3.2 billion, donated $7.2 million to Donald Trump in 2016, made the administrator of the Small Business Administration in 2017. 2020 chaired the Super PAC America First Action, raising $83 million for Trump's re-election. 2024 donated $21 million to Trump's campaign, selected as Secretary of Education. Elon Musk, welfare CEO turned world's richest man.
$4.9 billion in subsidies, $10.7 billion in carbon credits.
Net worth $416 billion, donated $280 million, and fingered 281 million disinformation tweets in the 2024 cycle. Has been named head of a governmental department that he invented. Plans to cut millions of middle-class federal jobs without understanding their value.
Climate diversity doesn't mean including climates that have had a sex change.
Scott Bessent, hedge fund manager, is considered a George Soros protege, net worth estimated at over $1 billion, donated $1 million to the 2017 Trump inauguration, $1.5 million during the 2024 campaign cycle, selected to be Secretary of the Treasury, and will likely be confirmed.
These are just a few of the hundreds of donors who have paid for a piece of the White House.
And now I have bad news for Joe Rogan.
This is going to break his heart.
If you know Joe, you know that he's against pharmaceutical companies and defense contractors paying for influence.
As long as it's a legitimate democracy that's not controlled by money.
Right.
As long as it's a legitimate democracy that's not controlled by the military-industrial complex or the pharmaceutical industry or whoever puts the people that are in elected places. Who puts them in there? How do they get funded?
Well,
and what do they represent once they get in there? Are they there for the will of the people? They're there for their own career? Do they bypass the safety and the future of the people for their own personal gain, which we've seen politicians do?
Defense contractors and pharmaceutical companies have been supporting Donald Trump since 2016. By law, government contractors cannot donate to campaigns or PACs, but they can donate to inaugurations. In 2017, the pharmaceutical company Pfizer and defense contractors Lockheed Martin and Boeing all donated $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration. And in 2017, Pfizer was awarded over $1 billion in government contracts. Boeing was awarded $19 billion in government contracts, and Lockheed Martin was awarded a staggering $46 billion in government contracts.
That is a lot of weapons.
For his 2025 inauguration, the story is the same. Multi-billion-dollar companies are lining up to buy a piece of the new president. A spokesperson for Boeing said, "We are pleased to continue Boeing's bipartisan tradition of supporting U.S. presidential inaugural committees."
They don't care who is president, as long as they take the money.
The Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America lobbying group has given $1 million, and Trump has met with pharma companies Pfizer and Eli Lilly, as well as Meta, Amazon, and Google, all of which will likely buy their $1 million share of this administration. And speaking of Google, that brings me to our next segment, right after a short message from the Overlord.
Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Joe Rogan fights off being fact-checked using the power of bias.
In this next clip, Joe's assistant, Jamie, paints a very clear picture of campaign finance, and we get to see Joe struggle to reject this information rather than admitting he is wrong.
Joe wonders why there aren't any right-wing guys who donate a lot of money to elections.
How come there's no right-wing guys like that to do it the other direction?
I always wonder that too.
I always wonder that. Well, it's also like if you look at the amount of donors that donate to the left versus donate to the right. Have you ever seen that chart?
No.
It's fucking nuts. The left gets so many more donations than the right does. Like, it's a giant difference.
Jamie shows him a list of the top individual donors. All the top donors gave to Republicans.
What do you got,
shows
Jamie?
the top donors to
Yeah.
OpenSecrets.org. 6 of the top 7 are Republicans.
Oh,
Individual
interesting.
donors.
Individual donors. What I was talking about was like they showed a chart that had like Google, Facebook, all these mega corporations that were donating.
Joe explains why he isn't wrong while grappling with the new information.
So this is like individual donors. Yeah. Wow, some guys donated $105 million.
Wow.
But that guy's probably worth billions. That's probably some sort of a write-off too, isn't it?
Even though he doesn't know the names on the list, he gives them charity rather than suspecting corruption. But when George Soros donates $100 million to the Democrats, it's because he wants to destroy humanity.
Joe changes the subject back to the Democrats and corporate donations.
Go to top corporation donations via party, because that's the chart that I was looking for. It's just nuts to see how much money overall is being spent to push the Democratic Party.
He's just been shown a chart where over $500 million is donated to the Republican Party by 6 or 7 people, and he doesn't want to talk about it because it conflicts with his beliefs.
Motivated reasoning. The act of readily accepting information that confirms one's beliefs, and being skeptical of information that disproves them.
Jamie puts a list of the top corporate donors on the screen. The top 9 donated to Republicans. Joe squirms as he tries to think of ways that he is right when faced with overwhelming evidence that he is wrong.
It is a complete facade.
This is the number one. This is corporations. So they donate more than Google.
Top contributors, organizations, federal contributions.
So 82 million is the top one, and that's Empower Parents, PAC, and these are right wing. Is that why it's red?
I would assume so.
So it seems like the top 4. Why? What is that Google chart that I was seeing? And I don't even see Google on this.
Joe then tries to discredit the website Open Secrets.
This is
another
Open
psyop.
Secrets, though. Open Secrets might be like,
Even though Joe suspects that Open Secrets might be like, he did not investigate the website further. If he had, he would have found this caveat at the bottom of the page that says based on data released by the FEC. Then he could have gone to the FEC page and read this statement. Candidates and political committees file regular reports about their financial activity, meaning that the information he is looking at has come straight from the candidates and the political committees, the PACs.
Joe is motivated.
okay.
That's the sound of a desperate man who doesn't like being wrong. Even though Joe can't remember where he heard that Google information or where he saw it, and Jamie can't find it, Joe's gonna cling to it rather than grapple with the idea that he is wrong. He takes a couple more swings at not being wrong and or discrediting this information, and Jamie shoots him down.
Is this corporate donors to what, though?
That's why I was waiting. I was
Giving
picking the
to
websites
programs that empower organizations to do more so you can find promising fund. I think that's fundraising shit. I don't think that's necessarily political donors.
This is all federal
Campaign
candidates,
donors.
parties, PACs.
That's the individuals, right?
This is the corporates.
This is the corporates ones?
Yeah.
Good boy, Jamie.
Lastly, Joe changes the subject and begins the process of forgetting everything that has just happened.
The number 2 donator to the Democratic Party was that Sam Bankman-Fried guy, which is crazy.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's it for the breakdown. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment to support the channel. If you're feeling generous, please contribute to the Patreon. My name is Greb Kared, your ally in the fight against disinformation.